Imagine living in a world that constantly urges you to be strong, composed, and emotionally unshaken, even when your soul is crying out for help. Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient civilization, is now repackaged in modern times, often in ways far removed from its original spirit. Instead of liberating us, it can shape people who appear stoic on the outside but are quietly collapsing within. Behind its noble teachings lies a hidden danger we rarely talk about. But before we begin, let's take a moment to build a more honest and compassionate world, starting from within. If you find value in this reflection, don't forget to like and subscribe to Metacita. Join us in creating a space for deeper conversations, inner clarity, and courageous healing. Philosophy should not turn us into machines. Its true purpose is to help us become whole. Yet when Stoicism is applied simplistically, it doesn't heal, it suppresses. It becomes philosophical gaslighting, silencing pain in the name of virtue. Let's explore the darker side of Stoicism, one that is too often overlooked. Stoicism teaches us to maintain inner calm by not reacting to what lies beyond our control. But what happens when those uncontrollable events are childhood trauma, domestic violence, or systemic oppression? How do we respond to wounds that haven't even begun to heal? When people are taught to suppress their emotions and disregard their suffering, that's not virtue. It's a denial of responsibility for our deepest human needs. As Jean-Paul Sartre reminded us, we are not passive objects in the world. We are consciousness in motion, marked by conflict and growth. In real life, suffering doesn't always transform into quiet wisdom. Sometimes it just numbs us. Are we truly alive if we train ourselves not to feel just to avoid appearing weak? Or is real courage found in allowing ourselves to feel the full weight of our wounds and still choosing to continue? True resilience is born from acknowledging and processing emotions, not from suppressing them. Yet modern Stoicism often celebrates the blank face, the cold detachment, the extreme self-control, as if that's what maturity looks like. Donald Winnicott once said that being authentic is more important than being perfect. Yet Stoicism, in its diluted form, trains people to act out the role of the stoic adult while burying their vulnerable selves. This isn't resilience, it's performance. We are raising a generation skilled at hiding their wounds, but never truly healing them. If resilience means cutting ourselves off from our own feelings, is that really strength, or just another form of self-abandonment wrapped in adult language? Stoicism teaches that suffering comes from our perception, not the world itself. In many cases, this empowers us. But when someone is in a genuinely oppressive situation, systemic racism, institutional violence, generational poverty, telling them it's all in their mindset becomes an act of inner cruelty. It creates the illusion that if we were just wise enough, strong enough, detached enough, we could escape suffering. But as Frantz Fanon reminded us, suffering is not merely psychological. It is historical, political, and collective. Reducing it to a personal flaw erases the social realities that shape so many lives. Who benefits when systemic pain is repackaged as individual failure? Not every wound is healed through ancient wisdom or positive affirmations. Some wounds require space, slowness, and, most of all, the courage to say, "I'm not okay yet." Stoicism often pushes us to skip that process. It was never designed for the traumas of modern life. Too often, it's misused to delay genuine healing. We suppress our tears to look strong, when those tears are sometimes the most honest expression of what's real. Are we healing or just rushing toward an illusion of calm that keeps our truth buried? Virtue is the cornerstone of Stoicism, But if virtue exists without connection to others, without empathy or shared vulnerability, it becomes hollow. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust, wrote that meaning isn't found in suffering itself, but in how we respond to it. But that response isn't built in isolation. We need others, community, tenderness, and real relationships. Virtue without love becomes a prison of moral performance. Can goodness exist in a vacuum, or does it only become real when it's rooted in compassion? Stoicism places high value on reason, and rightly so. But when reason becomes the only lens through which we see the world, we lose vital dimensions of human experience: chaos, absurdity, and emotion. Albert Camus wrote that the world is absurd, and our role isn't to conquer it through logic, but to dance with it. Life isn't a puzzle to be solved, it's a mystery to be lived. When Stoicism leads us to overanalyze and overregulate, we forget how to cry without knowing why, to laugh amid sorrow, to fall in love without calculation. Must everything be rational to be worthwhile, or is our humanity revealed in the moments we can't explain? Each of us carries a living history, not just in our minds, but in our bodies, in our cultures, in the inherited pain of generations. Any philosophy that treats suffering as purely internal, detached from history and society, cuts us off from reality itself. As Simone de Beauvoir argued, real freedom isn't about escaping the world, but engaging it, honestly and concretely. Healing comes from looking at our inherited wounds, not pretending they don't exist. How can we be free if we ignore the stories that shaped us? Isn't healing an act of remembering, not forgetting? Stoicism has its beauty. In its truest form, it's a rich, loving, psychologically profound philosophy. But how it serves us depends entirely on the context, who uses it, when, and how. If Stoicism has helped you feel grounded and alive, wonderful. But if it's made you feel numb, ashamed of your pain, or afraid to heal, perhaps it's time to ask, is this really liberation? Or is it just silence dressed up as wisdom? These three questions, who is practicing it, in what situation, and how it is applied, must guide our reflection. As Michel Foucault observed, philosophy can serve as both liberation and control. We must ask, is this philosophy helping us become more human or more obedient? Judith Butler reminds us that our lives are always lived in relation to others. When Stoicism isolates us from community, is it still ethical? And Martha Nussbaum calls for an emotionally intelligent philosophy, one that makes space for tears, for love, for grief. If Stoicism silences that, we've strayed from wisdom. Before we end, let's return to the heart of this reflection. Stoicism is not inherently harmful, but without nuance, it can become a philosophical mask. If you can't afford therapy yet, begin with this. Listen to your body, feel what you feel, let your wounds breathe. If this space speaks to you, if you're longing for more than just noise, if you're seeking a place where awareness meets kindness, consider supporting Metachita. Like, subscribe, and become part of a community that invites self-awareness with compassion. Because healing doesn't happen in isolation. It grows through shared understanding. You don't have to be calm right away. Restlessness is also part of being human. What has Stoicism meant for you? A guide or a cage? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected to this contemplative space, because building a more peaceful and loving world starts with the courage to be honest with ourselves.